Ashley, what's up next?
Next up is Ryan Clark. Hi, John. Do you think The Rise of Skywalker has the potential to make $2 billion at the box office? I feel like the fact it is being built up as the last episode in the Skywalker saga and the return of Palpatine may create some hype, but I know that there is a divide in fans after The Last Jedi. What do you think?
You know, that's a big question going into now because people are asking, now that Endgame is done its run, could anything top it this year? At one point, I thought maybe Lion King could end up being the number one thing, but then when Endgame opened to $300-some million, like that ain't going to happen. So what does that leave us? Toy Story 4 is going to be $1 billion film, probably. Frozen 2 is probably going to be $1 billion film. I don't see either one of them teasing or dancing with the $2 billion mark. What does that leave us? That leaves us Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. My thought on that is simply that no, I don't see it being a $2 billion film for two big reasons, okay? Number one, when Star Wars The Force Awakens came out, and it making $2 billion, it had a couple things going for it. Number one, it's great. So that's going for it. But it was the return of Star Wars. It was such an event. Something that we thought after The Last Jedi, or Return of the Jedi, I should say. Something that after Return of the Jedi, we never thought would happen again. A new Star Wars movie coming. You see Harrison Ford coming out there. Chewie, we're home. We see that happening. We see the Falcon flying around. We hear the TIE fighter sounds again. We were home. And it created this big event atmosphere. And fortunately, the film is also very good. So everybody came out. They kept going back. All that kind of stuff. Star Wars was back. The couple of things that Part 2 have working against it here, or not, what I should say is Episode 9 has working against it, is number one, that's gone now. That whole, the novelty of the return of Star, that's gone. So you can only play that card once. And the other thing is this, is that while I appreciated The Last Jedi, it's a very divisive film. It's a very divisive film. And you're going to see that it's going to have an impact. Like an impact that the movie only makes $600 million worldwide? No. This is a movie that will still easily cross the $1 billion mark. It'll join the $1 billion club. But when you combine, I believe, the two elements of the fact that the novelty of the return of Star Wars isn't in play here anymore, combine that with the fact that the last film in the franchise was really divisive, I just don't see how this could hit $2 billion. Look, I'll tell you what, even if it comes out and people praise it as the greatest Star Wars movie of all time, I still don't think it'll get to $2 billion. So, and $2 billion is an unrealistic, huge number. I mean, how many films in history have joined the $2 billion? What, 4 at this point? Maybe 5? I can't remember the exact number. So I don't expect it to. It doesn't need to. But no, I don't think it'll get there. Rob, do you see any scenario here in which it can get to $2 billion?
No, I completely agree with you. I think the real problem, if you want to call it a problem, with this movie is that, and I use myself. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars movies. I get excited for them. This movie, why am I going to see it? Like, aside from the fact that Star Wars, is there a story that I'm following? Because there really wasn't a story that was dangling. There were not a lot of dangling plot threads at the end of The Last Jedi. And the characters I don't think they've permeated the pop culture consciousness the way they wanted them to. I like Poe, I like Rey, I like Finn, BB-8's cute, I get all that. But they don't really live in my mind the way Luke, Han, and Leia still do. I want to see Lando more than anything else. And I think this movie, unless they show me, I'm more excited to see the Lando and find out how did they work the Emperor into this movie. And if that's the question, if I'm asking myself, how is Palpatine in this movie, and I'm not wondering about Poe, Rey, and Finn, there's a problem. And I think this film might be, Solo notwithstanding, I don't know if it's going to perform unless it sticks the landing, unless it's the most amazing Star Wars movie we've ever seen. And it's not going to make $2 billion. I'll be surprised if it does Last Jedi numbers, frankly.
Oh, I think it'll get Last Jedi without too much sweat. I think it's going to fall pretty short of the other one there too. And also, let's keep this in mind too. The movie's 7 months away. They have not really started their marketing campaign yet. They threw together a trailer that they could show at Star Wars Celebration, which I think is far too early to be showing trailers, but I get it. You need to show a trailer at Star Wars Celebration. I understand that. So we're probably still a couple months away from really getting a feel for what the movie is. And I think once that marketing campaign starts, we'll start to get a better feel as to how this thing's going to perform at that level. But again, I don't see it happening. I just can't. I mean, it would be great if it did, but I just can't see it happening. Even if the film is magnificent, I don't see it getting to $2 billion. So that's what I think. What do you guys think? Do you agree? You disagree? Jump it down in the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.
I don't see it happening either, but also I feel like Rey is almost like the Captain Marvel of Star Wars right now. Like so many little girls are obsessed with her, and I love Rey. Like I feel like a lot of women turn out to see Rey.
But I think I like Daisy Ridley's portrayal, but what's her story? Other than seeing Rey again and the relationship she had with Kylo Ren, which was interesting, I don't know where she's going now. I've not been set up to want to know.
Yeah, I do. I don't know.
You could make the same argument about Luke Skywalker, though. Okay, what was his story? Okay, he was a kid on a farm. You find out his dad's Vader, and then we're going into Return of the Jedi. It's like, we really didn't know anything else other than, okay, he found out his dad was Vader.
Yeah, but you had Han Solo. I mean, Empire Strikes Back ends on this huge cliffhanger, and everybody wanted to see Jedi. I mean, it was like, oh my God.
Individual characters, though. I think there's enough there for a lot of people, but again, I just think there's too many things working against it to talk seriously about $2 billion.
Yeah, it's too much.
And by the way, let's not become so stupid that we start to think $2 billion is the benchmark of success.
No.
Like any film that makes $700+ million is a wild success, let alone just joining the $1 billion club. So let's keep that in mind as well. But all that being said, I just don't see $2 billion being a possibility. So we'll have to find out.